Welcome back, everyone, to the very second episode of Adtopsy, and I think we got over 100 views last time. So I don't know what viral means technically, but I think we're pretty much there.
Definitely that.
We're getting there.
Unfortunately, Dr. Ike is not with us today. So we have someone filling in. Aaron.
He said that like he's dead.
I know.
He's not with us today.
He's
we
in
kill
the
off
back.
someone every episode.
Well, TBD on that one, actually. But we have Erin. She's the assistant to the regional note taker. So she'll be taking notes and probably offering up some things as well.
Very important role.
We also have Dr. Rachel Jackson, Dr. Barry Sott, and myself, Dr. Jess Bachman. And I'll let you guys introduce yourself a little quick.
I am Rachel Jackson at Fireteam. I am the media director, and I handle all of the media buying for our clients.
All right. Hey, I'm Barry Hott, growth consultant. Work a lot in D2C and advertising and CRO and all those things.
The $600 million man, is that what they call you?
That is what they do call. That's what I call myself. I make my wife call me that.
Oh my God. It's terrible. So let's just dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen.
I'm sorry, Jess. Erin didn't introduce herself.
Oh, I don't get an intro. I'm just a note taker.
Assistant to the regional note taker. I thought I mentioned that.
That's not even like shouldn't even be here.
No, Erin.
I'm not here.
Erin, introduce yourself.
I'm Erin. I'm the production operations manager at Fireteam, doing all the internal, hitting deadlines, making the trains run on time, bossing Jess around.
Yep. And I'm Jess. I am the social media manager at Fireteam, managing Twitter only. And then I also run the show as well.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Okay, moving on.
I think someone's going to believe that, but okay.
All right, so I'm just going to share my screen here. And to start, I just want to say that we have two sponsors this week, the Foxwell Founders Group and Triple Whale. We'll get into those a little bit later. But I also want to do a thing where we are constantly improving the show each week. And so some feedback that I had is that I should actually use the correct microphone. I wasn't using it last time, so hopefully I sound a little bit better. And now we have a better note taker. I'm a terrible note taker. And now we have Erin here. So hopefully those notes can actually be valuable this time. We also heard that the show is a little long. So I want to put in like those YouTube chapter video things so people can like scrub around or easily find stuff that's interesting. Check, Erin?
Check. Oh,
okay,
check.
Great.
Oh, sorry.
And then we saw some feedback that was good about doing good ads, so we want to include those. So it's hard to show good examples if all the examples are bad. So we want to get some good examples in there to show you what a great ad could look like. And then finally, I wanted to publicly share this Notion document. So I'll put the link to this in the description as well. And if you have feedback about how to do this show better or improvements, let us know in the YouTube comments. And if you're watching these and you have feedback about the particular ads that we may have missed, let us know as well. Because then maybe we'll invite you on. That'll be interesting. So we're going to start on patient 005, Galen Leather Company. Okay, are you guys ready? I can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Enthusiastically, yes, we're ready.
Give you a thumbs up. What more can we do?
All right, I wasn't paying attention. All right, here we go.
Tick, tick, boom. We're bringing the noise. Go, baby, we bringing our toys. Separate men from the boys. Chop up the singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Tick, tick, boom. Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I don't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet.
I am fired up from watching
Boom.
this organizer. So maybe we should talk about the music first, since that is like the driving piece of creative here. Anyone have thoughts on the music here?
What music? Barely noticed it.
It's the group's called Gemini, and you can always tell when an ad is using copywritten music, because it's great. It's like, there isn't like stock music that sounds like this, but that's also the problem. And a lot of brands do this, and a lot of brands get away with this. But I can tell you from personal experience that we've had a client get sued over copywritten music, and that happened.
Yeah.
Not something that we did. It was prior to us working them, but yeah, you can totally get sued for this.
Yeah, I'll double down on that. I would recommend anyone who ever plans to scale their business to not do this. It's an easy thing to want to do and be like, oh, who's going to catch me? It's a victimless crime. No, you're going to get caught if that scales up. You do not want to have content married to music that you do not own the rights to.
Absolutely. I would just echo it again for TikTok, because I am seeing it way more there than on Facebook. Obviously happens on Facebook too, but the people are somehow getting away with it, and it is unreal. Like the amount of like, it's not just copywritten music, but it's also like shows and movies and like, all of that. So the problem here is not just that it's illegal and whatever, but it's that you assume so much risk if that ad does really, really well and then gets rejected at some point. And then where you go, you can't just like re-upload it and hope it's going to do exactly the same with different music. It is just you're taking on such a risk by using music like this. Yeah,
we audited an account that was like full of like the Beastie Boys, like the whole catalog. And the ads felt great because, I love the Beastie Boys and whatever, but it's just really forbidden fruit that you shouldn't use.
Oh,
can you keep playing this with the music off for a sec, just like in the background, so I just want to keep watching it. Yep. Sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
No, mine wasn't important. I'm just a note taker.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, totally. I really wasn't important. I was just saying, I don't know if it's copywritten or copyrighted.
Ooh.
Typical note taker comment.
So I do want to jump in here. Like, even I actually like watching this with the sound off here. This is actually interesting. This is done in the classic like daylight, window light style. You can actually even see like the pane of the window there. I want to investigate more into that. Like, I need to talk to like Savannah Sanchez about how she does it.
Exactly.
But like, this is very Savannah style or classic TikTok product style, very well lit, but not professionally, or maybe not professionally lit. So it feels authentic, but it also feels pretty and polished. So it's doing a good job there. It also does a good job of showing the product. This is one of those where it's kind of like a fashion luxury good, where people can kind of just understand what it is and buy it just based on how it looks and the price. That's like a whole world of just e-com in itself, is just like fashion / luxury, where if it looks good and it's the reasonable price, people will just buy it. Done. But it has more utility to it, or at least it's making it look and feel like it has more utility to it, which is really smart to illustrate. So I think that there's a lot this is getting right. I would also say I bet this would do well with other music, both in terms of without copyright, and also like with a totally different vibe. Like, I could see like Bittersweet Symphony style in the background of this working well too, like an orchestral. So yeah, I would play with that if I had this. I would do some voiceovers. I would do some text overlays. There's a lot you can do with this clip, with this video, to make more ads with it.
I agree with you, Barry, that I like how this video is shot. I am bored of it at like the 6 pen that goes in. I definitely use some text overlays. I actually don't like the music at all paired with this video. I suppose it's like high energy, but it doesn't match to me like the field notes and in this leather bound book and these like ticket stubs. Exactly. I actually don't think it matches very well, and I want the Bittersweet Symphony instead. Like, I want something that feels a little bit different. And I do feel like I need text on screen for more context of like what each of those little pockets are. Like I would love to investigate more about those, because I think they do a good job showing them, but I kind of want to understand, like, you know, what size is that pocket? Can it fit my whole laptop? Can I fit, you know, cards in one thing? You know, I think we're missing, or they could build so much more information into this, but they are just leaving it to the video.
The music is interesting because when I hear it, I'm fired up.
Yeah, totally.
Man, I am ready to go, but also I'm like looking at a pocket organizer.
Yeah. But that contrast is, I think, part
it
of
could, except like I'm fired up in the beginning, but at some point my brain is catching up to being like, this is
what?
And this is a pocket organizer. You know, it's not, there's certainly better music choices. The other thing I'll say about this video is that it's only one sort of like thing going on. It's just showing what's in it. Like if this video is going to last, I kind of want to see maybe a testimonial, maybe some reviews or just other stuff besides this minute-long demonstration, you know?
There is something to that, I will say, is like, if you're going to go with a single perspective, I think keeping with that, if you can keep it interesting, does add value and does work. And even though I agree with, I think Rachel said, like, it gets kind of boring, I think they go with the point of like, if you earned the attention, calling back from last week, which maybe people are still paying attention to see what else this thing does, they just keep going. You know, it's a long spot. They could have just done 15 seconds, but they went longer and longer and longer, kept showing it. So I think that's good. But yeah, I agree, Jess, like you could also enhance this in tons of other ways that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's no like problem solution or there's no real thumb stopper either. Like they show putting in all this stuff. I wonder, true. I wonder if they like took out all the stuff in the beginning and threw it on the ground or something. And it was like, you know, we're going to put all this just big pile of stuff into this organizer. And then that might be.
Yeah. Playing it backwards could be another way to do it, you know, which in the case, at least there's some of it would have a reveal in the portion. Yeah. Like the portion where it like has everything in it, like when it's closed, opening it and backwards and unpacking it in high speed, just speed this up by 6x. Yeah. And you know, creates another whole other concept.
You know what I would love is a good resolution. It just kind of ends, but I see that there's straps on this. I would love to see this, someone pick it up and put it on their bag and like on their back and leave. Right now, just kind of
love that.
That's it. So, you know, if somebody is going to get to the very end, and it's going to be so few people, but those are really important people. So, you know, make it the best it can be at the end. I really have a pet peeve when ads just stop and they have no final end card or anything.
Yep. Agreed. Might as well do something with that attention, right? If you've earned that attention,
right?
Capitalize on it. I just do want to go back and talk about the music for a second.
Okay.
I genuinely, like, this reminds me, like, I really want to go test some music stuff, and like, because like with that, I could see. I said Bittersweet Symphony, but I could also see jazz working. I could also see like, you know, alternative rock vibe, you know, working. I could see a lot of stuff working. And I also wonder, when we talk about targeting with your creative, if that is another lever there, is like, someone who vibes with each of those styles of music might resonate better with them, and might help you find a broader scalable video or horizontally scale.
That is exactly right. And I was feeling it with that song being very masculine, aggressive, where I don't know that I would identify with that, but something a little bit more, I don't know, softer. I know that's a terrible stereotype, but we're in ads. So, you know, I think that is a way to unlock, like I said,
that contrast. I partially think that contrast of that, maybe that is the hook though, by the way, is that it's that hard music. Then you're like, wait, why is this hard music with this like soft, I do think that is part of what is attention grabbing.
That is interesting.
Right.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well, stock music is generic by design and appeals to it's not hard. Like it's not Doja Cat. And so maybe I think there's a balance between really appealing to someone using creative targeting and using Doja Cat like something or whatever, and also having like a general thing that doesn't dissuade anyone in particular.
Yeah.
So moving on to the second ad from August T. And Barry, I don't know if you know this, but we made this ad, and it failed in market. So
Okay. I know. I would have bet on that.
Oh my God.
Wow. Okay.
Just from that, Barry? Just from the.
No, I've already watched this ad. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I did my research.
Just to add some additional stats, click-through rate 0.8, thumb stop is decent, hold rate is below par, I would say. So let's get into this, and would love to hear your thoughts in particular. I'm sure we have our own thoughts as well.
Step 1, put the text on the top. You didn't even press play yet. Move the text to the top.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Mhm.
Have you had real tea? I'm talking about tea that fills your senses like a breakfast in a Roman cafe. Tea that takes you places, that gets you riding high in the saddle at dawn, that feels like you're wearing a crown of flowers, that puts you in the Milky Way at full bloom, that beckons you for an adventure like the mouth of the Amazon River. Tea that reminds you of those deep rooftop conversations in the city. If your tea doesn't do that, it's not real tea. Our blends are carefully crafted to bring you the best tea experience possible. Welcome to August Tea. Where do you want to go?
Have you ever taken a sip of tea and it reminds you of some far off place? August Tea straight up takes me there. It's like a tea experience that I've never had.
Okay, go easy on us, Barry.
No, I won't. Step 1, move the text to the top. That'll at least get more people to pay attention to the hook, especially as it's the first place typically I expect people to see as they're scrolling into frame on Instagram feed or Facebook. It's the first thing that comes in, and that question, have you had real tea? If that's an engaging enough hook question, that it'll work better on the top than on the bottom. So that's just step 1. You'll see a lot of ads do that, and a lot of like memes have the text on the top.
Sure.
There's a lot of reasons why that works, and people easily know how to understand it subconsciously. Yep. Overall, like I want it, I have to say something kind of mean, which is like this bit here, the breakfast in a room. I thought this was going to be a parody. I thought this was so exaggerated. You're wearing a flower crown. I thought was literally that was when the record scratch was going to come in and it was going to punch me in the face with well, this isn't your grandmother's tea. I thought that's what was going to come in. Yep. And that would have been great. But yeah, I mean, it's a little too exaggerated.
Yep.
I think if you want to go even more exaggerated into the realm of parody, I think that'd be fun. Yeah. But I don't think that would be good here. I don't know if anyone cares about those things and relates them to tea. And I certainly don't think anyone cares about the name of different tea blends. Right. So that's what I would say is not good. The thing that I do like is that you keep kind of going with it and you go into that testimonial towards the end. I think that was good. But also some of those shots, like that second shot, if you just go back to the beginning, the first shot of whoever that is not a good shot. Like you lost my attention. This 100%. Is good. This is not good. This makes me think this person is sick, has a cold, and is drinking like soup or tea, but for some reason also has a full face of makeup on.
Okay. So I am not going to defend this ad at all, but the reason why I wanted to put this in here is just to remind people that, like at Fireteam, we pride ourselves on creative and making good ads, but like they're not all winners. And you do have to test stuff out, and we put a lot of duds into market like all the time. But the point is to like, if that happens, go back into it and see if it can be fixed or why. I think from our point of view here is that this this ad really flipped into non-native super quickly. Like, you know, have you had real tea? People, you know, the thumb top's all right. Maybe people want to know what real tea is. And then it's like, hello, here comes the ad. And
I
this,
think it
and
started
this is,
even before even the very first thumb stop. That's not native. That's just and the condensation is weird. I don't like the condensation.
This could be native in terms of like, there's like those educational style videos that are kind of belong on platform and are native, and that I consider that part of the native bucket. So I'll give you that.
mm-hmm.
I guess paired with the VO, which I have a lot of problems with this VO, and there's a weird point also where it cuts weird and it doesn't feel real. It feels acted, which sometimes you can get away with acted, but yeah, I mean, the vignettes are probably too long. They are stock, which is weird. You also kind of don't know what they mean. They're too long, but they're also going too fast for you to really internalize what the mouth of the Amazon River means. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of not even saying anything almost, because it's saying so much. I'm getting nothing from it.
Right. It's too high concept for like a direct response ad. And I feel like there's a certain point, particularly like at scale, when you're doing a lot of stuff where there is a group of people that might appeal to something like this that's high concept. Not everyone needs like super native all the time. But this brand is not there at all to use something that generally doesn't work to try and like unlock, you know, some profitable dollars. So it definitely, it's too high concept. The Milky Way at full bloom. This feels like a copywriter is like patting themselves on the back here.
Can you go back a couple frames? What was before this one? What's before that? So that one. This one's good, right? And then you lost me. Like if I was going to do this again, at least in this premise, I would maybe throw away the full premise, but like show me like 3 other great places I would drink tea that would be I would be would make me feel nice, you know, on the lake at sunset, or or on the rooftop at sunset. They're always at sunset for some reason.
What about those conversations, deep rooftop conversations?
There you go. Oh, that's where I was inspired by. But like, yeah, give me more of those realistic settings that really touch my heart. And that shot didn't do it for me. But I think that there is some way you could make that relatable. I don't know if it's still really going to be carrying a lot in terms of actual ad performance, but it would be a better way to do that.
I think the problem here is that we've given this ad a brief, and we know the brief, and the customer doesn't know the brief. Like, we understand that because we made this, that each of those tea blends is supposed to be connected to a specific place, and that's the point. But that is not communicated at all, I think, or it does not come through at all in the actual watching of the ad back. So yeah, I think we can fall into that really easily, where if we come up with something high concept and we kind of know the brand and we understand what the founders are trying, what they're intending, we come up with something, but then it can sometimes be really hard to actually make it, come to fruition.
Was that direction from the client or guidance from the client? It was like, hey, like, oh, this tea blend is like this and is inspired by this. And did they want that, or did you guys decide to do that?
This is literally written on the packaging of the blends.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of this language is from. But
I fall in these traps a lot too, where I'm like, I take what the client says is good and makes sense. And there's sometimes you got to put up a firewall, and realize like, hey, where's the line of stuff that belongs on the landing page PDP, but should never, ever get brought into an ad, which in my opinion, it's that. Nobody who doesn't know your brand or your product, nobody cares about that. And so just do not let that stuff sneak into your ads. It's just not helping anyone.
The other thing that's worth noting about this one in our attempts to fix it is that we discussed different ways to maybe fix it, but at the end we didn't settle on anything that we liked or thought was worth the effort, so we just moved on. There's always another attempt.
I would agree with that. And I just want to also echo what you said earlier. I can crap on this ad only because I have had significantly worse failures than this one. I need to try and find some that I can share, because I have had put much worse ads into the world than this one.
So wait.
Yeah, right. And look, that's why we're good at. I think it's fair for us to say we're good at this because we've failed a lot.
Yep. Sponsor alert, Triple Whale here. So this is, a lot of people know Triple Whale, and there's the Pixel and then there's normal Triple Whale, but I just wanted to show, here's actually the Triple Pixel here of this particular ad, the Realty ad. We spent $256 bucks, 0.4, 0.14 ROAS, so terrible, cut it short, one order. But I think, and then here's just another snapshot, not naming the brand here, but this is what the Triple Pixel looks like, where the ROAS on Facebook might be 1.7, but in the Triple Pixel attribution, it's 2.2. So Barry, do you use the Triple Pixel with clients at all?
I'm actually not currently right now, but that's for no fault of Triple Whale. I'm just working with a big client that has a custom website, so we're not using Triple Whale right now.
Yeah, so they might be using some custom attribution thing, but
they are.
Rachel, can you talk about using an attribution tool as opposed to going off the Facebook ROAS?
Yeah, so I would say, I don't know, 60% of our clients are on the Triple Pixel itself. And I do a lot of my media buying from the Triple Pixel using multiple different of the attribution models. And I really, it's just so I have multiple checks of data. I look at Facebook, I look at Google Analytics, I look at the Triple Pixel, and it's just to have more assurance. It's great to be able to see, what might be really working, whereas Facebook says it's not at all, or the opposite is also true. Unfortunately, I can't say any of them are 100% accurate, but it's just another place to look, another piece of data. And I think the clients also really like having this. They also can pop in and look at all of the numbers all in one place, which is a huge deal. It's so much better than having some janky Google spreadsheet or your weird Supermetrics thing that breaks all the time, or
nothing, or having nothing at all,
or nothing. But I really do like that it's all together. It's something that we just onboarded a client to Triple Pixel, and they are brand new to the D2C game, and they are already sort of excited about the fact that all of this information can live in one place rather than all these other tabs.
Yep. And the so it's a great point about it not being 100%, because all of these attribution platforms they use this phrase called the source of truth, the one source of truth, and they all want to be that, but none of them are. And so you kind of have to the reason why I and we've used Northbeam and other ones, but the reason why I like Triple Whale in particular, because I actually trust that team more than the Northbeam team, which is a weird feature of the brand. But I think when the tool is about trust, you do have to look into who's running it, who are those people as well.
I'll say, if you're watching this and you're not currently using a data platform, you're only relying on in-platform data, that's a problem. If you're only using Google Analytics, that's not good enough. So step up your game. Check it out.
All right, moving on to patient 007 Nation. This is a clothing brand. Let me pull it up here. I'm not saying that this ad didn't fail, but it didn't. It was just put in market, so I actually don't know what the performance is. Here we go.
about
Uh-huh.
music. That music just threw me for a loop.
So I actually really like this one because fashion and apparel, it differs from a lot of other D2C ads and a lot of other advice that you give where it's like start with the problem, and there's not really like a problem here. And a lot of the goal of fashion D2C is to like show a lot of cute looks and allow people to be like, I like that one, and then get in there. So this one definitely shows off a lot of just different styles. And I think that's what you need to do, because if your ad is just one dress, people either like that dress or they don't. But now we have like multiple looks here.
This music, though.
The music is
It's this
really
like Always Sunny in Philadelphia theme song music. I don't get it.
I also feel like it's like, I don't know. I don't like it. Like
It's not cute. Is it cute?
It's
No,
not cute.
not
It's circus music.
Circus music with a grown ass woman. It's just weird.
It's cutesy, I guess. I would try other things. Like, I agree with you. I just don't think it's like egregious, but it's not.
No, I guess
Good.
it's not that bad.
But it's
I
also
really
Really offending me, apparently.
Okay, maybe the problem is I get these ads I get ads for stuff like this all the time, and there's just so many better. There's a lot of better music, I guess. My other concern is, man, I really do not like when I see the actual product name
yes.
like right there in like with like a TM next to it. Like that's one thing that completely takes me out of it, because I kind of maybe want to see more of, like, if I'm interested and if I'm at like 15 seconds and I kind of want to see some of the details of this top, I can't even see anything because I've got this text in front of it.
I think that I agree about the names. Like, no one probably cares, and like, unless you're gonna get insane, you're gonna do this for a brand awareness play, and you really depend on these names being like recognized household names. It's not a good tactic. I would much rather these text overlays talk about why you would wear them or what they'd be for, like, oh, going to work, date night, hanging out with friends, drinks at the bar, whatever. Like, I'd rather see that and like have different reasons for the different looks. That's my big thing about the text here. Also, I cannot stand the logo being on it for every frame.
Is there something to fashion where it's like it can't be too like low rent native text, TikTok captions, or can it be? Can you sell like a $150 blouse with like?
Yeah, it 100%. You 100% can. Have you not seen any Halara ads, Jess?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, look them up. I think you can totally be low rent, but it depends on the brand. We have a brand that's sort of like a legacy fashion brand, and I understand it can be really tough that you need the logo in there. They want the exact name of the product. It's a very different game than like real D2C, I would say.
I completely agree.
There's one tactical thing about not putting in the name, and like I get targeted on Twitter from like Yitty and Fable, just all these weird brands, and a lot of times they have like a ton of comments, and I'll read them, and a lot of the comments are like, "What is that? What is being featured?" Because I want to get that, and so it could be a good engagement hack to, if you really have like a bestseller or something. Don't put it in there. Let people ask for it to bump up your engagement.
I wanted to note, otherwise I would add a voiceover. I'd love to see more people. I'd love to, I don't know. There's a lot of other things that can be done with this. Overall, like for this concept, it's not bad. Like, I get what they're doing. I just, I don't think it's particularly compelling. But at least there's different cuts, different edits, or a bunch of different cuts, different stuff being shown. So it is somewhat rewarding if someone is interested in the first thing, then for them to keep watching and seeing more looks. I think this achieves that goal. But also, I don't think there's a call to action or anything like that. You could talk about maybe pricing. You could talk about maybe like where to get it, how to get it at the end. Like, having the logo overlaid over it, which by the way doesn't tell me the website at all. So I don't know where to get it if I don't want to click this ad. But like making that logo or making the call to action really big at the end instead of just tiny. I mean, it's super tiny and probably hard to see there. So
I do like her. I think she's cute. She does a few sort of like personality things, which I would encourage way more all the time. I think, just as much as you can be a person rather than just a model. So I think I do agree that, different faces, different people might help, but I can also understand it being just sort of one person, multiple look.
Is the only feature here is that you can mix and match, and they're calling that out and they're using it. They're like putting things together. Rachel, does that matter?
I didn't know that until you just said it. So it was.
I caught that.
Oh, I got that.
I like that.
I think that is something that
But I do like
people,
that.
in the fashion industry. Yeah, because if you're going to buy a piece, you want to know it goes with multiple looks.
So here's what I'll say. Okay, now that I know that piece of information, there's a whole concept right now on TikTok like called capsule wardrobes. I would put that phrase in here. Put that phrase in there, and then I think that could be a good thumb stopper, or like at least you're sort of relating to the general trends and the zeitgeist kind of thing.
I said a second ago, like a little bit ago, like add a voiceover. I want to be more specific about that. Like if the voiceover said in that really like TikTok, that really quiet, like up to the microphone, like talking into the headphone microphone. Oh, and this is my skirt and top from this, and I like to pair this with the, like if it was that kind of talk where it could be talking about how you have these two pieces and you're able to mix them with this and for this look. Like that's the miss there is there's so much that can be said to elevate this and make it more valuable.
Be overt if you have something that works. Right. Moving on to Ecology Skincare. This was another ad that was submitted to us. Short one, only 16 seconds. So let's see what the deal is. Yeesh. I'll just start with one thing that really bugs me is having two things on the screen at the same time that I need to I feel like I need to read these with each eye. It's just they're both on the screen at the same time. They're limited time frame, and it just really stresses me out. I'm not even going to attempt to read that because it bothers me.
Well, the stressing you out is a feeling, and I will give them that. They have made you feel stressed out, which, is a feeling, and congratulations, they've made you feel that's something.
Yeah, I felt the same way, Jess. As soon as I started, I was like, oh my God, I got to read this. I got to read both of them. What's happening? And then you miss everything because you're just so...
Right.
It makes you have to watch it again, which if you're focusing only on retention or watch time metrics, this ad maybe does well because it maybe forces people to watch it longer and multiple times.
But it's not interesting. I'm only going to watch it again if I'm hooked, or if I'm like I missed something that I want to see. I don't want to experience the headache again.
I agree, but I think that there is a point to do. I think that's at least either was the concept or is the unintentional side effect of doing something like that. And just what I'm talking about, like, again, I would bet their hold metrics might be really good for this, even if it's not like actually performing well. They might have good looking video metrics because they're stressing people out into watching and being like, oh wait, what was that versus what that versus what? And like, you don't have enough time to do it. So you have to watch it again to see like, oh, does this matter to me?
One thing that only just occurred to me is that I think that the Ordinary moisturizer that product right there looks better than the actual product. Like the packaging is like, I'm familiar with, I kind of know what that is. It looks a little bit premium. I know it says Ordinary moisturizer on it, but
it looks premium.
Yeah, it does. It does look premium. And in the Ecology one, I can't quite read anything about it. I actually don't know what's in that tin. You know what I mean? It's not something I'm
Right.
familiar with. So I'm more drawn to the left side, and that's such a bizarre disconnect.
Right.
Yeah, because that's an Aesop. That looks like an Aesop bottle to me. Like
Yeah,
that looks
it does.
like
It does,
it's a
exactly.
brown. Give me like a more generic grocery store,
Right.
drugstore one.
Yeah. Those small details create these brain associations, which if you're not paying attention can like work against your ad, as Rachel just pointed out. There's also there's just too much. There's just too many words. It's just so much information. There's here and here and here and here and here, and then it's like split screen. And not even just this part, like you need to focus on things. And I think it's fine to take a few seconds to be like ordinary moisturizers versus ecology moisturizers. Maybe even those are a lot of words, but like start with this before you just have everything going in there all at once.
Yeah, the pacing's too quick too. I mean, if you're gonna put text on the screen, shouldn't people be able to read it or have enough time to read it if they want to?
It's not even just reading, like you have to understand what this means for you to even get the benefit of it. Like
yeah, we need a number limit. I think, I don't know what that rule is, but I feel like you can only give people like one statistic per ad.
I don't think that matters. What I think, well, it does. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I disagree about that. Here's the big underlying thing. Like I wrote this in my notes in all caps to myself. This is an ad that is clearly from the brand. Like it says our Ecology moisturizers. It's
Right.
Can you go back to the first? Can you go back to the first frame? Or here's how we, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Nobody cares. No, you've already lost the battle twice here, which is our and here's how we. Nobody cares. All people care about is themselves. Okay, you have to earn that.
So how would it be different? Could you take the hour out of it?
It's got to be, I mean, for something like this, you want to be more focused on the problems and benefits rather than features. I mean, what would I would try and use language that would make someone feel, not just saying ordinary, use a more exaggerated word than ordinary on the left. Yeah. And then use something that isn't about but about like way that you can improve your life. Like what TikTok is raving about on the right, or what, skincare pros are freaking out about on the right. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not about us or our, because nobody watching this knows who you are or cares. Even if you're a bigger brand than maybe people do, but even then I wouldn't recommend it. Make it more relatable. And like this is what drives me insane. And you see me like angrily tweeting about all the time is like stuff like this. Sorry, I'm very sorry, and I apologize to the people who made this ad. I don't mean that. It's not you. It's a bigger industry problem.
Yep.
I love that point, Barry. That is such a good point. Nobody cares. You have to just keep reminding yourself that.
Yeah. So could this be a section that comes in later after you've maybe made people care? Sure.
Yeah, you got to earn it. Like, again, I keep like dwelling on that for what Rachel said from last time. You haven't earned this at all. This is not a good hook for those reasons. Mm-hmm. There's only one part in here that is relatable. So let's go through, I don't need to go through each of these bullets, but like water is the first ingredient. Nobody cares. No water at all. Nobody cares. Keep going.
Well, it's not just relatable, but like if this is a moisturizer and I'm not familiar with moisturizers, like, isn't water good? Like,
it fundamentally moisture?
Right.
That one, yeah, keep going. That doesn't make sense to me. There's only one. Nope, this doesn't matter. Nope, this doesn't matter. This matters.
Right.
This one matters.
Sure.
This one actually is something where I can finally be like, oh, okay.
Because it's emotional. This one's emotional. Fine lines, smooth. I want to look smooth because then people will love me.
It's a good point. It's a good point. It's not just emotional. It's relatable. It's about a human. It's not about a product.
Right. And this is something I didn't know. The skin feels dry when water evaporates. So that's the problem with water, which I didn't know, 5 seconds earlier. But if and this is kind of interesting. So if they had started with like the truth about water-based moisturizers, and then they go into you actually feel dry like when you use them, I'll be like, oh my God, I've bought all kinds of water-based moisturizers, help me out here. And then they can go into their solution. But
exactly.
Your skin deserves. Take our quiz to find your new favorite moisturizer. Okay. We'll move on. It's also just too short.
Also, I'm sorry, but like if you have a goo, there is goo inside of the bottle and there is goo inside of this container. Show me the goo.
It also says it's
Let's
made
keep
with
your kinks
emu.
out of it, Barry.
It says it's made with, I wish they showed an emu. It says it's made with emu and olive.
You've got
What
goo
is it?
and emus. What are you doing?
You gotta
Emu.
do good stuff with emus.
Made with emu? That sounds horrifying.
That can't be the animal.
I think it. No, I actually think it is. There's like an oil from the emu, I believe. I don't know if that's true, but I think there is because I've definitely used things with that in it. But
When you were slaughtering emus.
when I was slaughtering emus on the side.
Okay, one last ad here. Well, first we'll talk about the founders group, which it's like a paid Slack community where you can join, and there's like a bunch of different channels. I don't know if I can show. Maybe I'll just get in there and show it. There's a bunch of different channels where people can talk about different things. I posted today, how do y'all treat media buying on the weekends and holidays and expectations of your employees? Because that's something that's been on my mind. And as well, and I wanted to get other agency owners' takes on that. I'm not going to show you what they said. You have to join to get it. But like, it's very hard to find really supportive communities out there. And I'll say that the Foxwell Founders is a great example of that.
I agree. I love it. Also, Foxwell's an incredible dude. Shout out to him himself. But the community is wild. Like just to have people to kind of commiserate with, but also really help. For me, I love helping people in there. I love getting help. I just love seeing people talk about and being able to talk comfortably and safely about this nerdy thing that we deeply care about.
And then from my perspective, I'm not so much like a slacky chatty person, but I love the newsletter that comes with this. That's part of the group, but it's like a roundup newsletter of all of like the best hits of the week. And it's fantastic. It's a really great rundown.
Well, you guys just told me maybe I should sign up for the founders. I was like, oh, this sounds good.
Yeah, you can make it whatever you need it to be. If you're focused on creative, you're focused on like, there's all different kind of niches within there. It's really neat to be able to like, just get all that information.
Okay, so we're coming up to Barry. Can you go over a few minutes or?
Yeah, I'm good right now.
Okay, so this is the last one from Kizik. People are asked to put in an ad that's good. This is from Anze. Barry, how did you say his name?
I think it's Anza Markovic.
Yeah, we'll put a link to his stuff and his Twitter handle in the show notes. But he's a great visual. He's just a great dude in general. He puts together some really great ads. And Kizik is a wonderful brand. So let's watch this one.
Look at this. You just slide your foot down. It's in.
I kept seeing this shoe brand all over TikTok. It's called Kizik, and the whole purpose behind this shoe is that it's completely hands-free. This technology in the back makes the heel pop up. So like you don't have to bend down. And before you think like, oh, there's other shoes out there that you can slide on. No, they are not the same.
Dude, like what? Are you seeing this right now?
Wow, it's amazing! Oh, I can't believe it. Let me see. Oh.
Do that. Boom, right on, no hands. Great job, Kizik.
I really want those shoes now. I've actually seen them multiple times in ads, and I'm always like, that looks so cool.
Right.
Oh, you can't see it on my foot, but
Do you have one?
Guess who's actually wearing them right now?
Okay.
Did
Oh
not,
my God.
Did not know we were covering this today.
You love them?
Of course. Yeah, I love them. Everyone should have a pair of Kiziks. This
Okay.
product is actually differentiated, although
Right.
Skechers is now copying them. But this is an incredible product to get to advertise because it's a common product, but it's differentiated. So all you have to do, this is like, I'm sorry to say, whoever gets to work on this, it's a slam dunk. This is easy. Just keep showing, it.
Right.
Talk about how be incredulous about it. Oh, it's incredible. That's it. Like, and they do that here. Just keep doing that 20,000 times.
Right. It does. The product does one. You can slip it on very easily, and there's no mistaking. They make you feel that in every sense of the word. Even just the audio of the pop sound is just so satisfying
I
every single
love it.
time they do it.
You look for it. You want it to happen when it's the best. I love that
Right.
like marker.
Right. And when they don't have it, it's irritating because there's just like 3 shots where they don't, and I'm like, God damn you. But the other thing they do really well is they don't just use, it's not just putting people on it. There's footage where it's interesting and they break it up. Like here, I might get a little bored. We're 10 seconds into it, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what the hell? This guy's just sliding in there.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like, okay, he's putting it on. We've seen that a bunch of times. What? Hold on. What? It's just it shows you that there's entertainment here, and it makes me want to continue to watch this ad.
For sure.
Personality. There's so much personality. I do love like the shot in like the their offices or whatever, because it also makes me feel like, oh, that's a fun brand. Those people are fun. I want to be part of this fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back to that shot for a sec? The comparison. I would just do it the other way. Like that. This is to me a big thing. I would much rather have other guys first and show the problem first,
Yes.
rather than just, and then that's even a hook you could be using, because this is the shoe that I put on to take out the trash, which is not a good ad for a shoe.
No,
right? But
great ad. Are you kidding? That is so
Maybe.
relatable, Barry.
I agree,
walk the dog.
but like also it's
Absolutely.
not what you want. It's not what you want to say, because it's like, it's not, that implies that it's not a pretty shoe. But like, it's the shoe that you just step into it. Like that's it. Can you go back to the hook for a sec? Just what's the very first hook? I mean, like,
You just slide your foot down.
it's this is it's very branded version of this. I would try and find a more native way to do it. I would try to make this way more exaggerated. I don't really know what's going on. Part of me thinks I don't know, there's more that you could be doing to this, I think, to get this done, to get this way more powerful.
The hook VO is also like kind of quiet, I think, compared to the rest of the ad, which is a little bit weird. And then when it goes back, we go back to him at some point there, and it also goes back down. He just kind of sounds a little cloudy.
Yeah,
you got the brand logo in the top right corner.
I was going to say that, and I know you hate that, but apparently this ad really works. So what's going on, Barry?
What's going on here is it's probably working well to people who are already familiar with the brand. Yeah, that would be my big take, or that people are like confused about what that word is. Look, there's a lot of things that it could be doing. It isn't clearly a logo. People could just be like,
True.
Why are those letters? What do those letters mean?
Yeah, it's not really obtrusive. It's in the corner.
Right.
It's not like it's like smack dab in the middle.
the
And it changes
first thing
color.
that
That's
scrolls in.
interesting too.
It's the first thing that scrolls into frame in the top corner.
I also think it matters less here because this is very clearly a branded ad. So we're not like fooling people as native content or whatever. But I just want to say they do something in the beginning here.
Look at this.
So they say, look at this. And it sounds really stupid, but like something like this can work. Like we have ads in market where you say like stop, and you'd be surprised how much people will stop just because they're being told to do that. You certainly have to like earn it after that. But even if you have something where you really need people to focus on, if you want people to stop, sometimes just being ridiculously overt and saying that can be effective, and they're doing that here as well.
I'd love to draw an arrow from that. They'll look at this and then point to the heel.
Yep.
What do you guys think of the mom? I kind of love her. I love a campy thing. I don't mind it. I think some people would say, oh, it's overacted, but I don't know. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I can go either way.
I think it's perfect because I think this is really the target audience is people who are not, no offense, Barry, but people who are not like super cool or like into really fashion, because that's not really what this product is about. And it's like, show me the mom who's not cool and she loves it, and I relate to that.
I think they should go both ways with it, though. I mean, like, because like I agree with you about that. I told my dad, like, hey, you need to get these. But my dad is cool, so I don't know about you guys. But I also think like a 13-year-old would love these too. Are you kidding? To not have to tie your shoes? Are you like, come on?
Right.
Who doesn't like? That's the most relatable thing.
Do they make kids versions of this? Like little kids?
I don't know.
Because they should.
They definitely do different personas, Aaron. They have there's a whole pitch that I keep getting that's dedicated to moms and like pregnant moms. And it's really, really good. You would be completely sold.
Oh, interesting. Because with little kids who can't put their shoes on, this would be brilliant. You know what I mean?
Kizik. That should it's a slam dunk.
For brands where coolness or cachet is part of it, you do need to separate out those personas, because if I'm a kid and I'm like, oh, these are cool, wait, grandma's wearing these, it's gonna take me out. So they're definitely smart to be segmenting them out and doing persona based ads as well.
Yeah, and they do a good job of, I think one of the things they do really well is showing the different style of shoe, because like not all of these look like shoes that you would be able to just step right into. They all like, I like the sportiness of that one, right? But it it is a look. And then they also have the more casual styles. So it's cool that they highlight the different styles and shapes and whatnot. The only other thing I think that this ad needs is, I would say, maybe some more like polished shots, like a scientific, like I kind of want one that like shows the scientific like springiness, like a diagram overlaid over the springiness in the shot, like like later in the ad, just to make it feel more polished, professional.
That's really interesting. It's kind of like the science behind why it works the way it works, because I do think people want to know that, and that sort of validates that it works. Like when you see that sort of engineering that happens behind the scenes or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, they really put a lot of thought into this, and it does work.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's very solution focused, which is fine because the solution is pretty simple. But I still would love to see like a shoe, like in the comparison, like show me more like crushed up heels, damaged shoes, to really hammer it home, because it's like, it's ease. That's one of the solutions, but also like that maybe the shoe's going to last long because you're not damaging it all the time. And that drives into value and pricing, which is really key if you're sending people to the landing page and you want people to convert as well.
Now I'm mad I didn't say that first. You're totally right. Like there's so many problems that this solves that are relatable, right? And that are massive. And like anyone could say yes to those problems that this creates, like that this solves. And I would focus on that especially in the hooks more. That's what I would just play with more.
So this was a great episode. You guys, well done. Thank you, Aaron, for joining, and Barry and Rachel. If anyone has any feedback now that you've watched it, please drop it in the comments. Rachel, do you want to do the whole like and subscribe and notification thing?
You know what? Like, subscribe, and notifications.
Do it.
Ding the bell.
We'll work on that maybe for the next episode.